So we are in Pittsburg. I bet you're thinking it's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Well, where's the Steelers gear? Because there isn't any. We're in Pittsburg, California. And we're doing a special event here at Dále Vino on a Pittsburgh pier. This is George, Wine by the Bay TV. Look at the crew I got with me. Let's get started. Back to another episode of Wine by the Bay TV. I'm your host, George Bachara. As I said in the open, we are here. Oh, we're drinking some wine with some new friends and some special friends. We're in Pittsburgh at Dále Vino. We're doing a special event for charity. Pittsburgh High School, Pittsburgh Football is doing a fundraiser, and we've got our owner and host here at Dále Vino. She's going to tell us a little bit about the shop, a little bit about what they do here, and then we'll go into the event itself. So let's get started. Please, everybody, tell the group here who you are and why you're here. Well, you're obviously the owner, so you just
So I'm Tara Sanders. I'm the owner of Dále Vino Wine Bar. This is the first wine bar ever in the city of Pittsburgh. And the impetus behind this space is I live here in the community, and I really believe that we deserved a space of our own that was special and that was elevated and that we could enjoy everyday life or a special night. And so I really wanted to combine my love for education, as I'm an administrator full-time in education. So my love for that and my love for community and my love for wine. And that was how Dále Vino came to be. And so when we had the opportunity to partner with Pitt High football team, it just reinforced the reason for opening this space, which is about connections and community and creating that space.
Please, Coach, you're next.
I'm Charlie Ramirez, Pittsburgh High School's new head varsity football coach. This is going into my second season, coming off of a 10-0 season, 13-1 run to the Northern California Championship. So I'm real excited about this. Again, partnering with Tara and Dále Vino is going to be a quintessential Pittsburgh, if you will. So I'm really looking forward to it. By my side, this man needs no introduction around town, but I'll let him do it himself. Go ahead.
Well, some people don't know me, but I'm Coach Michael Orlando. I've been coaching here at Pittsburgh for over 30 years. I've been at the high school for 20 plus years. My roots run real deep in this city. My family immigrated here from Sicily in the early 1900s, and I am an unprofessional wino, so I'm very lucky and honored to be invited to this event and sipping on some wine and hanging out with you fine folks.
So let's talk about the place itself. I mean, how long have you been open? I mean, obviously you've got a heck of a view out the front, and nighttime, obviously you got a heck of a view of all the bottles and everything.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, I know why you started it, but how does it go? What happens?
So we've been open a year and a half now, so still a very new business, and I really contribute the success of the business this far to the community support. I mean, you come here on a Wednesday night, you come here on a Sunday afternoon, and everybody's here. We do live music. I really try to feature local artists to also showcase that we have a ton of amazing local talent here. I try to feature local winemakers as well as underrepresented communities. We have a lot of women winemakers, a lot of people of color. We have a Latina female doctor that has a wine here. Really just trying to showcase there is this beautiful unbounded world of wine. And in California, we're so blessed that we get access to so many California wines, but what about the global landscape? What about all of the other wine that we may not necessarily get access to? And so we not only do, our tastings, our typical menu, we do featured winemaker events, we're a bottle shop, and really trying to incorporate the love of wine and make it real and make it accessible. I really believe wine is for everybody. And when you come to Dále Vino, you feel comfortable and wine feels comfortable.
I noticed that you have a lineup of different wines from different parts of the world. We've got a little Sicilian, we got a little Germany, we got a little California. So that sounds like it's representative of the list.
Yes.
Do you guys do food as well?
We do. We do food. We do charcuterie. We do beautiful hors d'oeuvres. We have a house-made apple fig bruschetta. We do a apricot brie crostini.
Apple and fig bruschetta?
Bruschetta, you say. Yes.
I can't live out
well, and the funny thing is that Dále Vino, the name means give a wine in Portuguese, Italiano, Espanol, and it's really reflective of the Pittsburgh community, hence a name that embraces Pittsburgh with Dále Vino. So bruschetta.
I wasn't aware of that, Tara, and I think that's dope. That's a reflection of our community for sure.
And most people don't notice my middle name is Dale. So it was
But
kind of
did that factor in too, or was that just
so
an accident?
it was both.
Okay.
Yeah. So with the apple fried bruschetta, we have the apricot brie crostinis. We do pizza. We do charcuterie. And again, we're not doing steak and pastas, but we're doing something that complements the wine and that allows you to enjoy the evening. 3 or 4 hours listening to the live music and just enjoying being here.
All right, so tell us about what we're doing to fundraise. Like, what are we fundraising for? Obviously, it's for the school, for the football program, but is there anything specifically that you're raising money for?
We are actually. So again, everything that Tara mentioned is, like I said, quintessential Pittsburgh. And the reason why I wanted to partner with her, so I'm gonna just focus on that right now, which is really, the fundraising that I wanted to do when I took over is really to try and reach out to build on the community aspect of Pittsburgh, having not just fundraisers for the football program, which is in our 100th year, we had our 100th season coming up, but also have something that's fun, have something that's going to reach out to the community that is sophisticated wine, and with the sophisticated culture that we have, is one of the most diverse socioeconomic, multicultural demographics that is in the entire Bay Area, which is in such a densely populated region. It's fantastic. So having us partner together and having this space and having this building and having it downtown on the water with the orange and black flags flying outside, it's perfect. It's a perfect fit. So, and especially with the vision that I have is in continuing to incorporate more community events. I think there's kind of been a disconnect between, say, the school events and the Pittsburgh community itself. This is an opportunity to keep new businesses connected with the school, with the community, and have a good time.
You mean you just don't want to have a bake sale on
Right?
random
Or
Wednesday?
a car wash anymore, so like, yeah. So like,
Well, how are you guys supposed to get their exercise if they're not washing cars all the time?
They're not running enough.
we already have one of the best craft feeds around, so these are the type of events that I want to, promote and encourage and incorporate, and again, keep bringing people into this community, whether it's parents and families and alumni. Moving forward, what are we trying to do with this coming season? I mean, we have a phenomenal season. We have a lot of expectations. Like I said, we had a championship run last year. We had a North Coast Section championship. First team in Pittsburgh history to go 10-0. So building on that, we have a lot of players coming back next year. So there's a lot of high expectations. So I went ahead and scheduled St. John Bosco, which is a national powerhouse, number 3 ranked team in the country. So we're going to go down to Southern California and challenge them and take them on. Pittsburgh has never faced an opponent like this in the history of the 100-year program, and this is the team to do it. This is the team that's open to the challenge, and this is a community that's open to the challenge, and everybody's excited.
So you've been with the program 30 years. Can you tell, I was surprised to find out how many student athletes have gone on to these big careers, either in football or in baseball or whatever. You want to shed some light on some of the players that come through the program?
I could touch on a lot of football players that have gone on to be great men and fathers and husbands, and that's a compliment to the coaching staff and the programs that have come before us. I was just telling my wife, I was reading something on Lydia Stiglitz, who was Lydia Stiglitz was an 85 grad from Pittsburgh. She sits
basketball
on
player.
Softball as well with UC Berkeley. She sits on the Nevada Supreme Court.
Wow.
That's a Pittsburgh girl.
Yeah.
And
All right, I know where I can get in trouble now.
yeah. So there's certain things about our community though. We love wine, but there's a lot of people that don't drink wine.
Yeah.
And this is a great opportunity for people to say, oh, well, those Pittsburgh knuckleheads are sipping. Let me go see what this is about. And so that just brings even more people to your business, which is huge. We're all about Pittsburgh and our community programs and our businesses. So, and we need the money. So we're trying to raise some scratch and get some new helmets or whatever. But in the meantime, we're gonna drink some good wine.
Well, and that's the thing too, is to add on top of that, we talked about Brooklyn, beforehand, I told you about my brother-in-law, so he's in the fashion industry, and he has his classmates, they all live out there. So it's a whole nother demographic and it's like that across the country, of Pittsburgh alumni that are that are doing big things.
I wanted to discuss the wines that are actually going to be served at the event. First of all, when is the event? And then what are we serving?
So the event is next Friday, which is Friday, May 17th, 6:30 p.m. here. Tickets are available at DáleVino.com, Eventbrite, our Instagram. You can really find tickets anywhere. Just look up Fundraiser for Pitt Football and it should come right up.
I'll leave links in the description box.
Perfect.
So everybody can just go down to the description box and just click on it. That way you can go and purchase your tickets.
Perfect.
Or just donate if you can't make it.
Yeah, and I know when we were planning the event too, I have to give a lot of credit to Coach Charlie because he was the one that said, I don't want to just do a glass of wine, I want to do a tasting. I want people to really get an experience. And we said, you know what, we're going to make it work. And we actually have a sommelier who works on our team who's from Pittsburgh. That's a fun fact about her, Carrie Good Johnson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's from Pittsburgh. And her and I sat down and we thought about the tastings and we said, what are really cool items that we can showcase for the novice drinker and also for the experienced drinker. So we're doing a Terre Brûlée Chenin Blanc, which is a South African Chenin Blanc. It's absolutely beautiful, balanced. And at Dále Vino, we really expose all of our staff to wine tasting, whether it's our cooks, our bussers, our managers. Everybody is a part of our development here, and it's actually one of our cooks' favorite wines. If she ever orders a glass, she orders that. It's just fantastic. We have our Sicilian Nere, which is an Andiovola. That's just absolutely beautiful. We just added this to the menu recently, and it's a fan favorite already. And then we have our Quest. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon Cab Franc blend. This is probably our bestseller. It's Austin Hope. Everybody loves Austin Hope wine. This is the wine with the kick. This is the wine that has the character, the oomph to it. So we'll be serving those three, and then a surprise sparkling that will also be accompanied as a part of the event. The music, the dancing, it's an event.
It's Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
DJ
it's
Coolin.
DJ Coolin. Come on.
Up and coming legend.
Everybody
in
loves
the music
DJ
industry.
Coolin.
So yeah, what do we have in front of us here? What do we have in front of us here? Is this the Quest?
Yes, that's the Quest. So right now you have the Austin Hope Quest. Again, Cabernet Sauvignon Cab Franc blend. Beautiful and strong nose. And the funny thing was, when we were building the wine list, which if you've ever built a wine list, it takes months and it's hundreds of bottles that you go through, which sounds like a lot of fun, but it's actually a lot of work. And when this wine came up, there was some discussion of, is it too intense? Is it the right thing? And I said, the Pittsburgh community will love this wine. I can guarantee you my community will drink this and love it. And it is our bestseller to this day, from the day we opened till now. So we had to include that just because of the popularity. And it's a beautiful bottle. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful wine.
Do you sell, so you sell this to go also,
Yes.
right? Okay,
Yes.
so guys, a little tip here. This is 2021. Cab Franc Cabernet from Paso. This can sit probably 15 years in your cellar. I mean, you don't have to, but it's going to really develop. So taste it at this event and then buy a couple bottles, put one away, drink one soon, and you'll see the difference. You'll see what wine does in terms of aging.
Time out.
That's
Yes,
my
sir.
biggest
Can I ask a
problem.
question? Hold on. With the wine cellar or the
No, it's my big problem, too.
I can't, I've got some really good
15
wine at
years.
home, but I like to drink wine. I can't.
That's what I was in
You
at.
gotta use a lock that you don't have the key for. That's the trick.
But I got a question. Like, okay, storing wine after you open a bottle of red. I had a wine fridge. So, like,
After you open it, I guess it's gonna
After you
be
open it, you've got to drink it.
Now,
Yeah, you got
okay,
like
let's
2
tell
days.
our audience. Okay, so 2 days.
Yeah.
A
The
day or
layman
two.
like me, I need to know.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you
So,
seal it,
hurry up and
if
drink
you air seal it, you could probably get 2 days, but it should be consumed right away.
So a little stopper on the top, put it in the fridge.
I'll leave a link in the description box to a device called the Corbin, which you can find on some of my other episodes. It's a device that shoots argon gas into the bottle, so it preserves the wine for, they say 3 to 6 months. I've never had the
tried that.
patience to do that. But 30 to 45 days, I guarantee it'll stay. So, like, if you have the patience to have one glass and put it away for another 2 years, you're on.
Actually, we date label every single bottle that we open. We turn them, we don't keep wine around that has any longevity to it. And usually it doesn't last, so that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But you won't get any bottles here that have been sitting for more than a day.
So, coaches up, education. We're all coaches here.
How we're tasting? Okay.
Yeah, so coaches up.
All right, so the first thing you want to do when you taste, if you really want to enjoy the wine, now if you just want to drink it, that's fine. But if you really want to taste what's going on in the glass, you gotta first aerate it. So what you want to do, if you have the skills of the glasses and pour right, you can just do it like this. If not, on the table is totally acceptable.
I know, I have great pants on. So.
Okay? And what you want to do is you want to unlock, you want the oxygen to get into the wine. So it unlocks all the flavors. And you want to smell it right after you aerate it, so you really take a deep, deep breath, get your nose all the way in there, and tilt the glass at about 45 degrees.
Mouth open and nose.
You can do both.
Yeah.
So mouth closed, you're going to get more intense, or the heavier kind of fruits and flavors, and with your mouth open, you'll get more of that lighter floral and light cherry.
I have visions of one of our coaches.
And I'm a sucker for a good nose.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Oh my gosh.
In my opinion, the nose is more interesting than the palate ever will be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
God, but you know what? When you get it moving around like that, and you get to smell all those different flavors that are coming through your nose, it's incredible.
So one of the tactics that Coach Gallo, who was supposed to be here tonight, couldn't make it. He got a golf tournament. Shout out to the kid. One of the sipping methods that he taught me was, you want to kind of chew on the water. Okay, then get into
As
the
we're both
molars,
doing it.
as all the flavors, all the burst comes in, and then start tasting those.
Because when you chew it, it naturally swirls the wine around your tongue and mouth. So you get all of the flavors. You want the liquid to cover as much of your mouth cavity as possible. So all 5 senses. You want to smell and then taste. So you want to smell a couple times and smell a third time and then taste. I know it takes a little patience. So do that for like the first couple of minutes and then go kill the bottle. It's fine.
Yes, all right.
The other thing you want to do, if you can, if you know you're going to drink a certain wine on a certain day, open the bottle, and if you can decant it at least an hour ahead of time, especially on reds, that will be to your benefit like nobody's business. So if it's a big time bottle, ask your server to go to decant. You can call in ahead of time and leave a credit card. I'm talking about like this is big wine tasting.
Yeah.
Like for a $50 or $100 bottle, you have to go this crazy. But you want to open it as early as possible. So
Because I know you do.
can you go into some insight as to why you chose this wine aside from that it's a California wine in the name? Like, were you looking for something that had a lot of body and a lot of real like dark blueberry and blackberry flavor? Because I'm tasting a lot of that fresh blackberry blueberry on the wine.
So specifically for the wine bar itself, I knew with the intensity of the wine and the composition, it would just be very popular because the style of drinking that happens in Pittsburgh. I live here. I know how we drink. And so I knew this would be beautiful, but also for the event, for the fundraiser, it's just one of those wines that everybody loves. Like I said, people know Austin Hope, they know the brand, they know Quest, and you're not going to be disappointed. I think that's the best part. But to your point, we're going to be opening those bottles prior to the event earlier in the day, just to give it that, that openness and the freshness, so that it balances during the actual tasting. The South African Chenin Blanc, the Terre Brûlée, is just an absolutely beautiful representation of South African wines. A fun fact is that part of my educational background is I actually studied in South Africa post-apartheid to understand the institutional changes for children in education. And while I was out there is where I actually fell in love with wine. I wasn't a wine drinker. All my
Until
friends,
you came back from...
until I went to South Africa. So all of my friends were in the wine industry. They were somms, they were winemakers, and I was that friend who were in the flashcards, 20 years ago as they were going for their level 1 and their level 2. But I wasn't into it. And then I went to South Africa and I tried wine there and I just absolutely fell in love. And so while there's sentimental value, that wine is absolutely beautiful.
There's sparkling wine from South Africa called Cap Classique, which is as good as any champagne you're going to get for about a fifth of the price.
Yeah.
So that's something you should explore.
So
that's not necessarily what you're drinking.
Champagne is not a drink that I care to have.
I don't blame you.
I can care less about
I love bubbles.
mimosa or
Well,
you can give it to me. I'm drinking successful drinkers.
My man.
But
That's what I'm talking
it
about.
also depends.
I have a T-shirt that says I drink it, but I wouldn't buy it. And it's about wine. So yeah.
I also think it also depends on the quality that you're getting. If you get something
That's what it's
100%,
here.
I don't disagree. Now my
Then it's
my
beautiful.
daughter-in-law Susie, she loves a nice bottle of champagne. Champagne's Prince Edward.
Jim Pippins?
So we went with the South African Chenin Blanc and then Nere, which is a Sicilian Dále. And the reason this was so important is obviously to honor the cultural heritage of Pittsburgh, which is why we always have a Sicilian wine here. Always. No matter what we select, there's always Sicilian, but this particular wine, again, when we added it, just people fell in love. And again, we just added this to the list recently. So we knew with the response that we wanted to feature that. And then again, we'll be having a surprise sparkling.
Well, one thing I would say about Sicilian wine is a lot of times intimidating because it's very dark in the glass, but it's a light drinker when you start to drink it. It
Very
doesn't have the intensity of flavor that it does in visual. Like you can barely see, a lot of times it's very opaque, you can't see, it's almost a black color. But when you taste it, the mid palate is very soft. So you can drink it, it's fresh. It's very rare to see a Sicilian wine that's like a big bombastic, nightmare, like a jammy cat from
I have a question.
Yeah.
Something's always, I'm always thinking about the next play. Okay. Food. Okay. So when you're actually, you taste it, you did all the aerating, you sniffed it, now we're eating. Okay. How much?
Wait, sniffed it? Is that
what I said?
Is that sniffed?
Yeah.
Is that
Is that a sommelier term?
That is a Somalian term.
I
Yeah.
sniffed it.
Okay, I just want to make sure it was.
Some might say the sniffy sniff. If I were to.
Alright, so I sniffy sniff.
All right, I'm with you. So
So
now
established, we sipped it.
I'm sniffing from now on.
Now we moved on to, now how does, or can food, certain foods, like say like a Sicilian wine, can that bring out more flavor in the wine as you're eating?
Well, that sounds like a question for you.
Yeah. Depending on what you're drinking, food can be a beautiful complement. I mean, especially if you're selecting the right type of wine and the right type of partner. We have a number of cheeses that we feature here, like a smoked Gouda, that goes lovely with a number of different offerings. I think it really depends too on your palate, but what I love is when people are completely surprised. When they have something that they didn't think they were going to like and they put it together, and it's absolutely beautiful. And so we try to feature different types of items in our charcuterie that are either a little bit on the drier side as far as food goes, or a little bit more savory. Sometimes we'll do sweet. A lot of people talk about wine and chocolate pairing. I don't believe all chocolate pairs with all wine. I really think you need to know what you're doing and pair it appropriately. But for a great example, on Mother's Day, we're doing a full champagne pairing, and we're pairing it with macaroons and with chocolate truffles. And everything is very intentionally laid out. So I think pairing is real and it's delicious, but I think it needs to be done right.
Sure. Yeah, well, I mean, to bring it back to a sports reference, because you guys are raising money for football. I mean, when you try and match up your players on offense and defense, right? You try and get, your DB that's tall and lanky to match with their tall and lanky receiver, right? You want your fast linebacker to cover it with tight end, right? You don't want some big, monster of D-line curling off with the tight end.
Sounds like you've been talking to your father-in-law.
Yeah.
I might have been.
Father-in-law, mind you, okay, that's a great, I'm glad you bring that up. Father-in-law, so his father-in-law is the great Hercules Herc Party, who was my head coach back in 1991. It was the last team in the North Coast section to beat De La Salle. Little plug there for the 91 Hall of Fame football team. Coach Party, and Coach Party has a long tradition and historical and family connection to the city of Pittsburgh. So I hope that everybody in part of the Party family comes to this event as well, because her party helped organize and connect us on this fine podcast. So shout out to her
podcast.
Well,
Yes.
That's her son.
And if you're impressed with me and him even this much, you can give Coach Pardee a lot of that credit.
Absolutely.
Coach Pardee has been on the program before we talked baseball about 2 years ago.
Nice.
And he's so intimidated by the wine that he comes on the Coffee Channel once in a while. We did a bunch of donut episodes. So if anybody wants to see Coach
That
Pardee,
sounds fun.
you can go on my Coffee Channel.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I'll
was
leave
just
a link
talking
in
to
the
this guy
description
about
box.
Brooklyn vegan coffee, my vegan latte.
I didn't want to, because I don't associate with vegan lattes. I like cows.
You talk
I
about
like to
Berkeley,
eat them. I like to
vegan
drink
latte.
those. All of them.
Little almond milk never hurt anyone.
Like if you have a spicy dish and you get a very acidic, bright wine with a lot of lemon and lime flavor, it's going to be a disaster. You're just going to blow the heat right out of your head but that's why steak and a heavy red wine go well, because of that. And the tannins kind of marry together and kind of talk to each other and they kind of calm each other down.
Pittsburgh High School, under Coach Gallen. I was a defensive coordinator for 11 years under Coach Gallen, and me and Coach Gallen have been coaching with each other for a long time. So what we've established here is state championship season. So we're one of 4 teams in Northern California that has played either 14 or 15 game seasons over the last 5 to 6 years. So we're year round. We're year round. Once we get into January, we're starting on to the new season. We have 2 football classes that Pittsburg High School and the school district has been behind full support of. And right now we're probably averaging, because of those extended seasons and because of the quality of football we're playing and because of the high academic standards at Pittsburg High School, I mean, we're averaging roughly about seven scholarship players per season. And we're getting guys getting scholarship offers to schools that has never happened in Pittsburg High School. We're talking about Dartmouth was there this morning.
Oh, really?
We had the kids that are getting Stanford offers. We had kids that are getting offers. We had one player a couple years ago that had an offer from every single Ivy League school.
Wow.
And we've had 5-star phenomenal athletes like your Jada Rashada and your Rasheed Williams and your Jacob Bandez, Dejon Benton, all guys that went to phenomenal schools, USC, Washington, Florida, Arizona State. But it's what we take pride in is getting those guys that are getting the scholarship offers, to the high academic schools.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there isn't like a ton of money. Like, this is Silicon Valley money in this neighborhood, right? It's a lot of people that are working class folks that don't have a lot of money to send their kid to, say, Dartmouth at $90,000 a year, whatever the case is. So you're giving kids that otherwise wouldn't be able to get these kinds of credentials a chance to not only play, but to get education.
Absolutely. And I say something that the Dartmouth coach said this morning, which we knew and what we tell our families is, being a student athlete from a school district like Pittsburgh Unified School District, you're going to get more opportunities financially at a school like Dartmouth, because of our middle class and low income demographics, and that is not any knock on the community. That is an actual, that's a positive, that's a plus. So you will have opportunities that you don't get, let's say, at a more affluent school district like, say, Oklahoma Creek, or at a private school like De La Salle. We just had a stat that came out in San Francisco Chronicle as far as rankings on UC Berkeley acceptance rates, and Pittsburgh was probably one of the top schools, if not the top school, in the entire Bay Area as far as UC Berkeley acceptance rate. So
that's school wide.
Yeah, that's school wide. So that's
not even the athletic.
That's not even
right.
But because I want to get to some wine here. But
yeah.
One huge stat that I'm so proud of is, and this happens year in and year out, but, a couple of years ago, better than half of our team had a 3.0 GPA or higher. Mm-hmm. You might not go play college football, but you're going to be college eligible.
Absolutely.
When you leave our program. And, it's not, there used to be lip service at some point, some years back. It's not lip service.
No.
You want a great education? Go to Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
You want a great education? You want to be a part of a great athletic program? Go to Pittsburgh. We got all the bases covered. I'm proud to be able to say that because it hasn't always been that way.
Yeah.
And we model our program I do everything I possibly can to model our high school football program at college.
And we're products of this environment. We are Pittsburgh boys.
94 grad.
89 grad. If we don't do it right, we have people to answer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Your father-in-law would be the first one to say,
Oh, I know.
What the hell?
He's a nice guy until he's not. Yeah, exactly.
So we're held to the standards of our mentors who had the bar up high, and we're more than willing to take that baton and take off. It's our turn now. They did it, and now it's our turn.
Coach Orlando and I actually were neighbors for a very long time. And I remember one time we saw a bunch of the guys walking to his house. I think they were doing dinner or something at his house, and my dad was here, and he goes, "What are those guys doing?" He goes, "What are they doing?" Because he didn't recognize that he didn't live here. And I said, "Oh, that's the Pitt High football team." I said, "Watch, the kids did not know me at all." I rolled down the window and I said, "Is that the Pitt High football team?" And they said, "Yes, ma'am." Rolled the window back up, and my father was so impressed by them because they're just good, respectable young adults, and that's
Good story.
right.
I love that. Thank you.
It's a pleasure being able to work with those students, whether it's directly with them or as the coaches to fundraise. I mean, just to do something together.
That sounds like all good stuff to me. So guys, if you're in the area and you like wine, or you want to like wine? Do you need to come out? You're
I know,
out
wait,
because you're a drinker.
We're gonna get more
you
in a
do enough sniffing, okay?
Sniffed it.
No,
Yeah, give him a little drop there.
It's because it's
I
bad
like
luck.
you
It's
some,
bad luck
you
to
know,
ching
wine
ching.
out here.
It's bad luck to ching ching.
Give the young lady a little bit too.
Oh my God.
George, you got more in your glass than
Yeah, but I got cooties. I don't want to make her sick.
So Coach Charlie spilled wine here, but the funny thing is these were production barrels. These actually were wine was made and put in these, so spill away.
Yeah, so here's to a great program, here's to a great bunch of kids, here's to a good charity, here's to a local business, okay? Wine by the Bay TV, watch the next video, donate to the cause, come out, drink some wine, support this young lady, and let's get it going. Wine by the Bay TV.
Salute.
Tinta.
Go Pirates. Go Pirates.
Go Pirates.